back to the channel. Today I am going to be working on my trailer. My poor trailer has seen better days. So over the winter, I actually had used it a couple times over the winter, and then it sat, it got buried, froze to the ground, and it needs some TLC. The dogs had chewed the wire harness. So that is the number one thing that I need to fix today. So let me show you. So I've kind of pulled it out a little bit just so I can see the damage. You can see here, they had chewed through my ground, through my left side. Actually, that's the right side. The left side's still intact, luckily, but I'm gonna have to probably shorten that to make this work. Here's the right side, and here's the ground. So they completely chewed through it. And then, as you can see, I have a bit of wear and tear. I'm not gonna worry too much about this. I am, however, gonna fix this right here. Just needs to be reattached. And then I think I'm gonna change out the side markers. That one's okay. The one here on the other side, however, got busted out somehow. So we are going to try and replace that one, and we're gonna go from there. Hopefully we can get the wire harness done, get the side markers done, and then there used to be a plate hanging down from this light. The kids broke it off, so I've just got to get the plate, and I'm going to attach it to the tailgate here. All right. So first off, what I'm doing is I'm going to go through and I'm going to carefully cut off all of this sheathing here. All this old stuff. I tried to find some shrink wrap and I could not find shrink wrap, but I do have this this sheathing here, which is a mesh sheathing, so this should work. That's what we're going to use. I do have a whole nother wire harness for this, and when I do the full overhaul, I'm probably going to take and use that wire harness and just rewire the entire thing. But for now, I just need this to work and be functional, so that's what we're going to worry about today. All right, so once I did that and took that off, I'm going to go through and I'm going to inspect the wire. And it is a good thing. So in the sheathing here, I don't know if you can see, but you can see that little shiny spot. So I don't know if that's from the dogs. I don't know what exactly it came from, but there's wire showing there. So as you can see, the dogs took a good chunk out of the wiring. I have to shorten this up anyway, so that's actually not a bad thing, because we're going to take that chunk out here. We're going to take it out because we have to shorten it out anyway. This is possible, a spot where it's possible where it could short out. If it gets grounded out, it could cause the trailer lights not to work properly. It could even cause fire. So we're going to chop that out. And so I couldn't find any heat shrink, but I did find these heat shrink connectors. So these are what I'm going to use I also bought these, which has connectors on them. It has the traditional the crimp ones in there, and it gives several different options as far as connectors, which is not something I'm going to worry about right now. I don't need any of those. We're just basically going to reconnect all this stuff back together. So, but this pack had these. These are all these connectors here are all good things to have. But this is what we're going to be using. So with that being said, I'm going to go through. I'm going to come through and I'm going to cut the bad section of this wire out. I'm going to take and spread that a little bit. These are connected. I just went through and I split them. It's going to make it easier to connect them. So once that's done, I'm going to look here at the other side. We are now good. Well, so I got the grounding wire and I got the brown. I got the left side here, the brown, and then I'll do the green here in a minute. But I wanted to test to make sure that these were going to work. Mainly that I was going to be able to make them work. So anyway, we got those done. So what I'm doing, separate this a little bit more. I've cut those tips off, so I have nice fresh tips. These are 18 gauge wire, so I'm going to take them, and on my tool there's the different gauges, and this is my multi-tool. So there, I put it in the 18 gauge, and I want to take and strip the insulation off. So strip the insulation off, and that leaves me with the copper inner, and I do that with the one side, and then I'm going to do it with the other side. So as I'm doing this, I'm not super good with electrical. There's probably many people that are gonna say there's better ways to do this, and there probably are. I'm just going off of real basic knowledge. So if this helps someone out there, that's great. If not, that's fine too. I don't profess to be any specialist or that with electrical. In fact, I actually hate electrical. I'm just not very good at it. So anyway, once the two ends are sheathed, then we're just going to take and put those ends in to our connector here. You want to make sure that they go all the way in, and then there's a crimping portion, little nub right here. I'm just going to go here and I'm going to nub the very end of the little aluminum piece in here, and I'll show you one close up to kind of show you. And I kind of give it a little tug just to make sure that it's crimped down enough. You might have to crimp a little bit more. You don't want to like completely squash it, but you want to get a good crimp so you have a good connection. Good little tug, it's in there. So let me show you real quick here. So you can see that little thing in the middle. It's I think it's, I don't know what it is. It's either aluminum or it's something. So that's where you want the wires to go in, and that's where your connection is going to be. You're going to crimp that down, and it's going to basically crimp down onto the wire and create a connection. Then this outer little wing, it's flexible like plastic. This is the heat shrink. So I'm going to show you. These are pretty cool. I really like these. You just want to basically take a lighter, or you can take a heat gun. I didn't want to go digging for my heat gun. I actually know what it is. I just don't want to go dig for it. This was easier to get. So I just take a little big lighter, and I'm going to take, you don't want to go to the close to the wire. You want to kind of stay closer to that little metal piece. You just heat the plastic up, and you'll watch it kind of shrink down around the wire. So you're just gonna take that and just kind of rotate around. Like I said, you want to try and stay away from the wire. It'll shrink on its own. You just don't want to burn the wire. So that the one side's done, I'm just gonna come over and do the other side here. Just kind of rotate it around, rotate it around. It'll kind of turn like a clear. And then you'll see it kind of come down and clamp down on to the wire. You can kind of see that. It's still kind of warm. So that'll kind of shrink down on the wire. I don't know that it makes a tight enough seal where it's waterproof or anything. Probably not. I, in fact, will probably go back around with some electrical tape over each of these. Just because this is on a trailer and there's possibility of this, you know, rubbing up against the metal, or you know, with movement of the trailer and everything, you could rub it up against the side of the trailer, or even end up dragging on the ground. Now you want to make sure when you're connecting things up that you have things high enough where your wiring doesn't drag on the ground. You want to try and keep your chain from dragging on the ground too, because you don't want that to be making sparks as you're driving down the road, possibly catch a fire. But besides the point, I'm going to be putting a little bit of electrical tape around each of these connections just to give it a little extra protection. And then of course we'll be putting this sleeving on it. So, alright, so now we got the ground done. We've got the left side of the trailer done, and now we're going to do the right side of the trailer. Same thing, so I'm not going to bore you with that. Originally, the person that had done this before, they literally just took and tied a knot. They looped it and tied a knot and then shoved it around through the here at the apex of the mount here. But I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do that or if I'm just going to electrical tape it into a Y. I'm also trying to decide, before they just kind of had it wrapped around the cylinder here. There is actually a hole here. There's a hole down here, and I'm thinking about just taking it and bringing it down through here. And then what I'm going to do is I will put some extra sheathing. I'll probably take about 10 inches of another layer of the sheathing here, and I'll probably go around that just to make sure that there's no friction point there. The problem with doing it there is it's pretty close to the hitch, so I'm not sure if that's going to cause a problem or not, but it would be a lot cleaner. Otherwise it's going to have to come up here and up and over. So I'm trying to decide which is going to be the best. Ideally, what I'd like to do is take and drill a hole in the side here and have the wire come through and up, because this is the side that it's going to connect into the vehicle. Problem is I don't want to do that, and if I were to do that, I don't have any rubber grommets. I really would need a rubber grommet to put over that hole. And this is like some pretty thick steel too. So I did end up wiring it off. There was some excess on this side. So I ended up just kind of folding it over and taping that in and then wiring it off because it's going to come up here. So what I'll do is I'll incorporate that into the sheathing. I'm going to take a strip of sheathing that goes from here to here, and then I will do another one starting here, and then I'm probably just going to do the same thing I did here with taping it. I can fuse it together, I can melt it together here at this junction, and then I'll just reinforce it with some tape. And then I'll pull this back through, and I'll just probably double sheath all this so that it's reinforced. That way I don't lose much length. I still have, quite a bit of length here. And I've got to do some adjusting with the wires and everything. But that still gives me about a foot or so. Oh, the garage door's in the way. So that's about a foot there, but that gives me just over a foot of extension, which with turning and everything should be okay. We'll test it out, and if I need to make some adjustments, I can. I can try and move some things around and go from there. But I think that's going to be the plan. We're just going to come up under here, and I'll just do some extra sheeting. Well, I got that all done. It's all wrapped up. Yeah, so let me show you what it looks like. All right, so here's the connector. I melted the ends, but I also taped things up, and I taped things up where it was a little bit thicker, and it gives a little more protection. But that's all done. Oops, I need to slide that on just a little bit. There we go. It's all done. So now we can put it through and try it out. It's hooked up. Looks pretty good. Oh, okay. All right, turn signal works. That's good. Okay. Try the other one. Okay, well that works. Okay. Try the brake and see if it... Okay. I see lights, brake lights work. I wonder why the tail lights don't work. The drive lights. That's weird. Might be a ground. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of weird. Well, what's important is that the signals and brake work. I'm gonna have to figure out why the regular lights don't come on. It might have something to do with the fact that these side markers, well, at least the side marker's broken. Maybe once I get those fixed, maybe it'll get better. Guess we'll find out. But I think I'm gonna call it on this project for now, for today, and we will continue and pick up where we left off on another day. And with that, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.